Thank you for coming. I'm overwhelmed with a sense of loss, but it's great to look out at this audience and see the family that is here. The Playhouse, as most of you know, is part of a very large family that stretches from coast to coast and reaches far back into our history. We're part of that, we're one of those organizations, part of that great professional theater experiment that began for most just probably less than 60 years ago as organizations, and we were one of the first. We've been here for nearly half a century, and we've been able to do such great things as recently things like Where the Blood Mixes, the tour that went across the country, and was part of Kevin winning the Governor General's Award, and bringing something fun and sprightly like the Drowsy Chaperone to open the 40th anniversary season of the National Arts Center. And back into our great history, the really creative and innovative Overcoat that became an international sensation. Fantastically solid productions like Death of a Salesman that was just done a couple of years ago. This has been the uninterrupted contribution of the Playhouse Theatre Company over its nearly 50 years. We were also one of the first. We were from which others grew life. A lot of other theatre companies took parts of the ecology and have run with it and been very successful, and this has been a vibrant community, and it's terrific to think that the Playhouse was in many ways the starting point for so many that have gone on to run organizations that are now even larger than the Playhouse. Our mandate is specific, and especially specific for a large theater company. It requires that we offer programs and plays that potentially provide a meaningful experience on a very large scale. And we are rightfully held to a higher standard. I think that the critical discourse around the Playhouse has been extremely helpful. And but you know, we also work without a net. We cannot enter into compromises for quality or for scope and scale, and we're rightfully criticized when we even think of moving in those directions. It's do or die in every case, and it's been that from the word go. And I'm really proud of all my predecessors who have never lost the heart of the mandate to do meaningful experiences for the people of Vancouver and in many ways for the nation. It's also been a great training ground for so many of us who cut our teeth as new artists or as experienced artists coming back and having an opportunity to really hone our craft. But the working model wasn't working. It's been troubled over the years, and the history is a history of great saviors and wonderful grand gestures at timely moments. Sometimes government, sometimes individuals. But the difficulty has been to sustain that kind of pace and that kind of commitment to a very strict mandate over that length of time. And the historic financial statements are actually, as much as there is red ink, I see all the heroes that have contributed to make sure that this thing go on. And considering the challenges facing a large organization of this size over that course of time, it's just astounding that the organization has been able to continue to focus on doing the good work that it's produced in every decade in its existence. But we're not able to overcome the starting deficiencies in our resources and our abilities to work things out. And when we're vulnerable, the various storms that have hit us all and all of our organizations, for us, have become critical. So it's the large organization in the water is actually affected more by the waves if it doesn't have already a strong base in terms of resources and cash. I think what will happen, what will continue to happen, because this is the nature of the arts, is that the Playhouse will be remembered, and I think Playhouse-ness will continue, as we found other programs and other aspects in our history have been taken up with great verve and energy and carried forward. That the aspects of the values and the practices of the Playhouse will form or reform again in other ways. I think the really important thing that we have to do is both look back at the 50 years and take what we can so that it makes us stronger, wiser, and moves the entire art form forward, because it's really terrific next 50 years that we should be anticipating. And if we take this out together, I think that we will be able to push the stakes further out and do more things. I think that what is not useful would be identifying individual blame, point to specific mistakes and missteps, try to find someone to lynch. That would be unhelpful, because a theater company of this size and of this longevity requires many, many building blocks. The building blocks are across all levels of government, across private sector contributions that come in various ways, whether they're direct donations from individuals to large donations from corporations to successful fundraising events like the Vancouver Playhouse Wine Festival. It takes a lot of building blocks to keep a big artistic enterprise like this going. And whereas I have spent the last few years working very hard, harder on some areas than others, I must say there has been progress made in every one of those building blocks. And there are heroes in every one of those components. And it would be a mistake not to take this and learn and find out a way that we keep that the ecology can become stronger and not weaker by this. If that's the case, then the future is great. The future is great for all the artists, all the workers, and all the people that have put so much time and energy into being part of what the Playhouse is and what the Playhouse stands for. We will have a chance over the next while. We'll have a lot of chances, and I think we should take them, and I really hope we do, to reflect on the history and the momentum that is the Playhouse and all the entire theatrical sector of Vancouver. And we will have time to grieve the past and also have a time to plot and plan the future. Many great minds in Vancouver and all kinds of processes that are just now beginning and forming, and many that have been ongoing. And we will be able to input those processes and plans and meetings and come up with directions that continue to take all of these things that we find so valuable, take them forward into making our community stronger. I really hope that the period of divisiveness and competitiveness and blame, I hope that period is short and we get more quickly on to what Vancouver could use and what of the Playhouse's contribution is helpful going forward. I can tell you specifically of the things that have taken place in the last while, of successes that we've had, of people that have contributed. But as I look around the room, I see that would probably identify almost everybody in here. And there are a great many more. It really does take an entire village, and it would be a shame not to recognize absolutely everybody's contribution. But that could take another 50 years. So I guess we'll have questions for you if you like. And as I say, this absolutely not the forum or the time that we'll have to give expression to everything. There should be time for, as I say, planning and time for collecting thoughts and expressing ourselves. We'll do what we can in the short next order. Thank you.